Alright, so we're back with a 1500 mile update for the Honda CRV Sport Touring 2023 in Meteorite Metallic Gray. So far this car has been truly wonderful. It's a very smooth ride, it's pretty gas efficient, no major complaints, maybe one or two things that could be a little better, but overall much better than a lot of the other cars that I've tried. Again, I've done some modifications, so we've added this little hood deflector here. If you did want to add some parts to your car and you're savvy enough to install them yourself, you can save a lot of money instead of buying the parts from the dealer. There's a lot of Honda websites that sell the parts for like less than half of what the dealer does. Dealer also double or triples the charge because of their installation. But here we also have the sport tailgate. It's only about like this much longer than the standard tailgate that you get, but I thought it added a nice look to the back, having something on the top right there. I also recently just ordered the crossbars. These are the roof rails, but I ordered the crossbars to install, and those should be here soon enough. I got them online for about 200 bucks with shipping, and I believe those are closer to like 400, 500 at the dealer. Getting this and that installed at the dealer was like an extra 1,200 bucks. The parts themselves were probably like 400 or 500, but I didn't have the chutzpah to disassemble everything here, so I left that up to them. Worth the money for me. Let's go into the car. So far we're getting pretty good mileage. It's hitting around 36 miles per gallon, and that's mostly freeway, maybe like 60-70% freeway, and let's see, the rest street. It does get the advertised value. It does take a little bit to break the engine in, so you won't start noticing a lot of those things until you hit your 1,000 miles. Let's turn it on. Alright, seatbelt warning. So it's always going to tell you who's sitting where, and you can see it says I'm not wearing my seatbelt, so we'll just dismiss that. Oh, dismiss again. And then we have, so average fuel 35, and the way I'll really calculate it is I'll see how much gas I put in and divide that by the miles, and it's usually within a mile difference. Right now it's probably about a mile more than what we're getting there. Let's see. So one thing I've noticed is that this wireless charger here, if you have like an iPhone 14 that has a super large camera, it is, let's see if I can show it here, not really, but this thing is so thick that sometimes the phone isn't really flat on here. It's kind of like this because of that camera bump is so big, to the point where sometimes the charger doesn't catch and you'll go your whole drive without any charge. You do have to kind of shift it. If you have any other phone, I'm sure it's not a problem, but those large camera bumps, kind of annoying. The only downside, kind of with this center console here, it's got a not too fancy of a little latch here that opens and closes, but you can just like pull this open too. It's not that strong. So that's one thing that wasn't as nice about the build quality, but everything else is very nice. Like the seats, super nice to the touch, very nice stitching. They feel nice. The seat heaters work really well. Those will get your buns toasty. And we do have the cables here. I actually haven't even used them because I'm always just tossing my phone on the wireless charger. I did add this little modification here, which is just a little silver cap on the little air vents. I'll just show you here. It slides off. So that's the standard, what you get, and then I just ordered this on Amazon. Thought it was a nice touch to match the little silver dials right here. So other things, you put this car into reverse, you'll start hearing that noise. It's pretty quiet inside, so the cabin is very nicely isolated. But once you go outside, you can probably hear that noise a lot more. That's just the reverse sound. Your car does stay in EV mode when you're driving slower, and that's pretty nice. I can drive all the way down the street to the shop and back and stay in EV mode. Let's put this in park now. One other few things I added was this little dash cam here. And if we go out to the back side, we actually have one in here as well. Oh, let's see if we can see it. Not really. Let's open the back. So I just swiped my foot there, totally handless system, and you can see right here I've got a little backup dash cam going. Wires just installed on the inside, and it runs down to this nice little 12-volt plug here. That's nice to have in the back if you wanted to have any like pumps or anything for pump your soccer balls, stuff like that. That's all nice to have in the back of the car. We also have the seat back protectors installed. Again, don't buy these from your dealer. They were going to charge like 200 bucks for installation. You literally just like stick it on. Same thing with the mats on the inside. Much cheaper to just buy it from any random online. Just type in the part number online and you'll find it for much cheaper. And they're all from different Honda dealers who have online stores. Lastly, we also have a third camera on this side. That was supposed to be the original backup camera, but I couldn't get the wire to reach, so I just have a side camera in case we get sideswept. What else do we like? All right, so let's take a look at that closing motion. You just swipe your foot and it's done, which is awesome when you want to grab a package. I believe this only comes in the Sport Touring edition, or maybe a higher up trim. But it's a very nice feature to have. I use it all the time. I don't even touch the buttons on the door anymore. Rims, brakes, everything's been super nice. No issues here. Paint does look a little bit more gray. Oh, that's just the dust from the rain. Another cool feature, if you notice, there's no little window washer tip sticking out of the hood of your car. They're actually built in. You can see the hose and then the little tip right there in the middle. They're built into your wiper blades, so the blades themselves will spray water as they're going. And then you have one of those in the rear as well. You have your camera system up here and all your sensors. Camera's the one on top, sensors are the 4 dots on the bottom. Those are amazing on the freeway, combined with the radar that's actually behind this. The accelerated cruise control basically helps you drive the car itself. It speeds up and slows down for you if you're in stop and go traffic. Really comfortable ride. You don't have to keep switching your foot between the pedals. It just goes the whole way. And so far it's been like 100% on par, like no issues with that, me having to like step in or do anything. The steering, where it steers the wheel for you, that I would say is about 95%. Sometimes it's a little delayed and it causes you to like swerve a little too close to the edge of the lane. So that I would still definitely keep your hands on the wheel. It also has very nice sensors to tell you when the cars are next to you. Of course, a lot of cars have these, but that little light will go off. It'll start beeping on the inside, letting you know not to merge. Gas tank, there is no lid. You just kind of push the nozzle through there. And I guess the lid is kind of just built into here. I'm seeing that more and more on newer vehicles. And then same thing with this wiper blade here. Actually the water nozzle for this one is built in somewhere up here. I'm not sure exactly where. Again, another reason why I didn't want to install the Sport tailgate myself. So now we'll talk kind of just about the comfortability of the ride. It's super smooth. The suspension's very nice. It's a very nice drive. No complaints about that. Very quiet interior. You don't really hear much of the noise on the outside. Let's see. Apple CarPlay is very nice as well. If you have a Apple phone, keeps everything very nice and clean. There is a little bit of an audio lag as well with the Bluetooth. Not sure if that's just my phone, but there's about a 1-second delay. You'll never notice it if you're just playing music, but if you were like flipping through TikToks and you wanted the sound to come through your car, it's going to be very annoying because it's always going to be like the previous video that you swiped on coming through. Just something I noticed one day. So the heating system and everything, very nice. This also has cooling where it runs it off the the battery and everything. So whatever you adjust this to, it's pretty efficient at getting it there. If you do turn it toward the hotter side of things, your engine will turn on, so it'll switch from EV mode to gas mode because it pulls the heat from the engine. With that being said, it is pretty quick. Oh, the one thing I do love about this car is how fast this front defogger works. The second you turn that on, it's blasting air from like everywhere. You can feel like a current of air on this windshield, and it defogs you in seconds. My previous car was a Lexus ES350, and that just took forever. Sometimes it's getting kind of scary on the road when you need it all of a sudden. But this thing is so fast. Like, you just turn that on, you can hear it, you can feel the air just going across everything. Nice breeze, and it clears you up in seconds. Again, that sometimes might cause the engine to turn on as well. And it's not like cold air, I believe it's heated. So we'll take a closer look at all the little switches here. So you have controls for your front and rear windshield wipers. They're separate, so let's see, rear over here, and that's gonna turn, oh, can't see it there. Anyway, that turns on the back one, and this is for your front. Let's see. These are really nice. You can switch through your tracks and everything. This little button here lets you switch between your trips, and let's see if I can show that here. Focus. You can have different items going on in this little, the left side. So let's see what we can show you. So maintenance, oil life is 90%. And then, so the engine just turned on. You can hear the sound difference there. You can check your torque distribution. Nothing going on when I'm driving anywhere. Driver attention. I'm not sure how it pays attention to if you're paying attention or not. Your phone, audio, so you can just see the track you're playing. I usually always keep it on range and fuel because I like to obsess over that. Overall build quality, super high. I love the sound of the doors closing. Everything feels nice. Doesn't feel like cheap or plasticky at all, like most of the other cars that I was test driving. That was one of the things I was really trying to avoid, is I feel like a lot of American cars just feel super plasticky, or even, of course all cars have plastic, but it just felt so cheap. Unlike this car, everything feels nice and high quality. One of the main reasons I'm making these videos is just because when I was trying to buy it, there's no consumer videos at all. It's just different reviewers. Sorry if my reviews aren't that great, but I'm just trying to show you like an actual person's perspective of the car instead of someone who, like, all the other videos kind of just hit the same topics. One thing I do wish is that sometimes these headlights, they don't feel as bright as they could be. It's great with the high beams on, but sometimes when I'm driving, I did wish they were like a little bit brighter. Not sure if that's just a thing between LEDs or HIDs or standard lights. They're great. They cover like a wide view. You can still see everything. Or maybe it's just because I got my windows tinted and that's decent enough for me. Maybe not to see as much as I would without the tint. Overall, great car. Definitely buy if you can get a good price on it. It was pretty expensive. Out here in Southern California, it's the $40,000 MSRP. They did a dealer markup of $2,500, and I believe the average markup is probably around like $5,000. I was able to get it down a little bit. Also added a 7-year warranty for $2,500 extra, $500 for gap insurance on the financing, and after financing, the total came out to around $57,000, which is a lot for a Honda CRV. That being said, you're not gonna get much better around here, at least. Maybe in a different state or country, you'll get a better deal. But right now, that's the lowest. Oh, that also includes like the $1,200 for the parts I added on. But you're not gonna get too much lower. Everything else I was trying to buy was at least $3,000 more, because the other dealers just did not want to take off their markups or add-ons. I guess it's pretty standard practice now to add $3,000 of add-ons, which was just like floor mats and some screws for the tires, total ripoff. but the dealer I got it at, Hardin Honda, was able to take all that stuff off and just did a lower markup. And that's just what the market is. There's not a lot of stock. This was actually the first one sold in Orange County, I believe. The dealer hadn't even seen the car before I reserved and before it got there, so as soon as it came I picked it up. But if you can find one, great buy. I like it a lot, especially more than the Toyota RAV4s that I was driving around. Those just felt like a little bit more dad car vibe versus this one's got a little bit more rugged, cooler look to it.